Hi everyone, Nikki here, back with a brand new video. In today's video, I wanted to talk more about depression and anxiety as an INTJ. In my past videos, what it's like being an INTJ, and my latest video where I'm talking about my past relationships as an INTJ, I dance around this topic a little bit, but I felt like it deserved its own video. If at any point you become annoyed by how slow I start talking, I do that when I'm trying to think of my words and I'm trying to recall a certain thing that I usually don't think about because I am a runner. I run from how I feel without even trying. I don't mean to do it, but I do it. So, my first question of this video that I'd like your guys to share your opinions with me on is when someone is depressed or anxious, when someone is shy or insecure, or they have the tendency to disassociate from their emotions, how often were they born that way versus made that way? At what point does your brain rewire whenever you experience trauma to make you this way? Or how often is a person born this way? If you know a little bit about that topic or you just have an opinion, please share down below. I very much would like to know what you guys think. Is essentially what came first, the chicken or the egg? Man, I don't know. I don't know. And when I sit back and I think about how long have I been depressed? How long have I been anxious? How long have I had a hard time controlling my emotions? And how long have I had to disassociate from my emotions just to control them the best I can? Was I born this way? I don't know. It's hard to find the answers to that. And that's not even necessarily an INTJ thing, because not all INTJs are depressed or anxious or disassociate from their emotions. But it does seem like a lot of us, over the span of time, have been created into being the stereotypes that a lot of INTJs are. And what I'm talking about essentially is like my experiences in school, where, yes, I had traumatic things happen to me as a child. Most of us have. Most of us have parents that are no longer together. Parents having their own demons is not an uncommon thing. I'd say what's more uncommon is picture perfect families. Come on. Most of us have trauma, and most of us have our own set of issues, and most of us inherit the issues from our parents as well, and we just deal with all of that the best we can. But for me, I had no support system. My privacy was being violated at home, and my privacy was being violated at school. Okay, I was a shy child. I was a quiet child. I like to play by myself, and instead of going out with friends, I'd much rather sit in my room or sit outside or something and read a book. But this was alarming to adults because they felt like I wasn't telling them things, which was true. Just because you're an adult, and my mind as a child didn't mean you had the right to my thoughts and feelings, especially when the adults in my life handled me the way that they did, such as a teacher digging a poem of mine out of the trash can that was ripped up that I had shared with a friend and taping it back together in front of my classmates. What was the reason? To find something incriminating? To get me locked up? What were you trying to prove? Or, at home, my poetry being rated for the same purpose. There's something wrong with her. We need to figure out what's wrong with her. She's not talking to us. Meanwhile, they are the very reasons that I was experiencing as a kid depression and anxiety, because I learned expressing myself was not safe. And we INTJs, when we learn something, we learn it and we don't forget. And this has been something in my adult life that I'm having, even now, a really hard time changing the way my mind works. That it is okay to express myself. And I don't necessarily mean my words. I can talk about sad things all day long, but I don't feel them. You won't see me cry. You might see me get a little passionate here on camera because there's nobody in this room. And even though I know, there's going to be people that see this, some people that I know about this channel, there's not anyone actually in front of me looking at me with expectation or showing me their reaction to what I'm saying. It's easier this way. It's cathartic this way. Even the weird comments I get, I don't care. I'm getting it off my chest, and if 99 or 90% of you get what I'm saying and respect and understand it, even if you disagree, that's good enough for me. But what do you do when you don't have that? When you're a child and there's nobody for you to speak with? You can't connect or relate to your friends because while you both may be 13, 14, 15, 16, you've gone through crap that makes you feel like you're 80 and you're just tired and you're just done and you don't want to feel anything anymore because everything hurts. It hurts to breathe. And whenever I would write my poetry, those are essentially the things I would write about. And a lot of it was taken literally. So if I were to write a poem of something like standing on the edge, looking at this mess I made, to plummet down is the only way I'll be saved, or something like that, they would take that literally and take it to mean that I wanted to end myself permanently. I had never had those desires before that. I didn't really even think of it as an option. I very much naturally am somebody that keeps fighting, keeps moving forward. I don't let anything get in my way. And then that changed because I kept being accused of things. And suddenly, what they were accusing me of became very much my reality. And the only way I knew to literally save myself was to distance myself from people and to distance myself from my emotions and to just stop feeling those dark, toxic things. I didn't know any other way. So for a long time, I wasn't feeling my feelings. It's like the equivalency of your ears are bloody red and they are burning and they're itching. You're so angry, you're so embarrassed, whatever it may be. But your face is stoic and you don't feel that embarrassment. You've completely disassociated from your emotions. I think most of us INTJs can relate to that. So if you take that and you apply it to somebody that, has dealt with trauma and is experiencing depression and anxiety, and you think about your body feeling all of that, but the person themselves not feeling it, that's where the damage really starts. Where, I had a hard time sleeping, I had a hard time thinking and focusing, I didn't really care about anything or anyone, including myself. When I would eat, it would just make me sick for no other reason than my anxiety that my body was feeling for me was so bad. I couldn't hold on to weight, and it was dangerous and it was terrible, and all anybody did was make it worse. Because people, right, we belong in these little boxes wrapped tight and neatly with a bow. So clearly, you handle everybody the same. Well, it wasn't until I went to a therapist that things started to click for me. And while talking to this therapist, I'm not advocating not going to one, but it didn't work for me because it was all words. I could talk about it all day long, but I didn't show any emotion and I didn't feel any emotion. I didn't leave sad, happy, or relieved. I left feeling like I just spent an hour doing nothing. And I remember one particular time I was talking and she ended up getting tears in her eyes, and that was actually the last time I went. Because I was like, okay, this other person who's supposed to be a professional is literally feeling my emotions for me, and it's not working. So I went to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist prescribed me antidepressants. because uh, I believe my diagnosis was persistent depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder, and the treatment for that is antidepressants. And they didn't really look at anything further. Well, it made me worse, and he gave me antidepressants to counteract those antidepressants, and it made me worse. And it wasn't a fun time. And so me being me, was like, okay, this psychiatrist ain't working. So then I went to another psychiatrist, and this one actually took my family's history into consideration, things I was saying into consideration, and he ended up putting me on mood stabilizers instead. And his explanation was I show a lot of symptoms of bipolar disorder, but not type 1 or type 2, a lower percentage where it just makes it hard for me to control my emotions as I'm feeling them because it was something that I possibly had never really learned. And the mood stabilizers was like taking off the film over my eyes. And at this point, I was going through the situation with my last boyfriend. That if you watch my relationship video, you know what I'm talking about. He was dealing with his own health issues. And on top of that, he was just very damaging and brought up accidentally a lot of past trauma for me, such as the dismissiveness of my family and my thoughts and emotions being looked down on, and it was hammering further into me that it's not safe for me to talk to people. It's not safe for me to have feelings. It's not safe for me to express them. They're not wanted. They're not understood. They're never going to be understood. And when I got on these mood stabilizers, I could see things how they should be. I could see things for what they are. I could see that the sky was blue and the grass was green. And I was able to act accordingly. I was able to bring forth my inner INTJ and fearlessly act in a way that made logical sense. And I have to wonder if people handled me differently, if they actually listened, if they didn't go from 0 to 100 anytime I said anything that they constantly took out of context, if they had accepted the fact that I was a child that was thinking and feeling very adult things, and instead of making me feel like I was in danger or I was a danger, if they had just helped me, would I have the issue now when it comes to connecting with people? Is it really that people and me are disconnected, or is it that I don't give them the chance to connect? Because I automatically assume they'll misunderstand. And how many INTJs out there feel misunderstood in our early childhood for that feeling to continue as we age? Have any of you ever wondered if that's because you just don't give people the chance to connect with you? The moment they look at you with those eyes that clearly mean, I don't know what you're talking about, we shut off. But what if they want to learn and they want you to teach them and we just don't give them that chance? It was the psychiatrist's intent for me to not have to be on medication. He fully believed that it was something that if I could just get my head screwed on right, and if I could just develop the correct coping mechanisms instead of running from my emotions and the emotions of others and just keeping myself far away and distant from everyone and everything, that I would be okay. And I was drowning for so long that I didn't even feel it when I hit the bottom and I just completely plummeted. But I just knew it was dark and I was alone and there was nothing and no one around me. And now now with a clearer mind, I can see that some of that is my fault because maybe not as a kid, but as an adult, there's very much been people that have wanted to be there for me, that have wanted to learn, or maybe they didn't understand, but they accepted. And I was just like, nope, nope, it's not safe. You're not safe. It's a trap. That's where the anxiety comes in, the paranoia, the the depressive helplessness that things will never change and no one will ever understand you. That's where all that comes in. And that little voice in your mind just goes off and those alarms start ringing. And I would be lying if I said I still didn't have that. Anytime a stranger reaches out to me, I feel so anxious. I won't even play online video games because I feel so anxious talking to strangers and communicating with people. It's like in a work environment, I can wing it. I'm not necessarily faking it, but I can disassociate from all of that. I can get up in front of a group and do a presentation and do it flawlessly and be, accurate and precise. And if I stumble over my words, laugh it off and have everybody laugh with me, and I can be charming. But when it comes to anything personal, I clam up. I am a little clam. I am shy. I am confident until I'm not. I am knowledgeable until I'm not. And I'm great at handling my emotions until I'm not. Like, I'm one extreme to the other, and I have a hard time finding that balance in between. But as I age, it definitely gets easier. I have great friends in my life now, some that understand me better than others, but all of my friends accept me. And honestly, what more can you ask for? But if you guys have any thoughts and opinions about anything I stated in this video, if you disagree, please state your disagreement down below and why you disagree. But please, for the love of God, do me a favor and don't generalize all INTJs. It drives me bananas. I can't stand it. We are all different. We all go through different circumstances in life, and our perceptions of our traumas and things we've gone through will always be different. Just keep that in mind. But other than that, please share your thoughts and opinions and feelings about this video down below. I look forward to reading those and responding to them. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.